Hello and welcome to the panel debate theatre at CMIP here at NAB Show 2022. And for our next session, Getting Monetization Right, Best Practice for Driving TV and OTT Ad Revenues. Let's welcome to the stage Daniel Church, Head of Advanced TV Products at Beachfront.
Awesome, thank you. So today we'll cover ad monetization in pay TV and OTT, best practices. We'll give you some statistics of what we see in the market today. But first I want to say a big thank you to the NAB and BPL Broadcasting for the opportunity to be up here. It's also great to be in front of people for the first time in a long time. So we'll kick it off right here because I know you guys are itching to get into this. So the biggest thing I want to call out here, I want to give you a quick intro to Beachfront Media. So we are an independent TV advertising technology company. We're a convergent TV monetization platform, and that really comes with three key parts. We have an ad server, a unified decisioning engine, as well as a marketplace that allows you access to that inventory and those buyers. Some of our partners you can see up here on the slides. We work with distributors, programmers, and online media companies. And the big thing that we want to get you guys to take away from this is that Beachfront is unique because we work in both QAM systems and IPTV. So that would include CTV, IPTV, OTT, whatever you want to call it, as well as QAM, which would be set-top box VOD, as well as spot linear. We also manage all of those. So trends, the emergence of IP-based viewing has come out. We see that broadcast is 26%, cable 37%, and IPTV is growing to 27.7%. So what we're seeing here first is that IP-based consumption is increasing significantly, but we still see that cable is holding its own. So we have been seeing decreases for some time now, but it does start to look like it is stabilizing, at least as part of how much viewership is going through this. IPTV, we're expecting $18 billion to be spent this year through that, although that is not near the $70 billion that is still going through cable today. So both are growing. We're not seeing a decrease in TV ad spend. We're seeing an overall increase into the pie. And lastly, several advancements have been made over the last couple of years, especially in DAI and SSAI. This allows for a lot of the functionality of cable that everyone is used to, user experience, speed, reliability. All of that is being replicated onto the IPTV environment through companies like us and others that are trying to replicate cable as well as on IPTV. So the cable industry has benefited from a lot of innovation as a lot of the CTV industry has matured. And this comes as advertisers and brands are seeking more simplicity, targeting, unification across those disparate endpoints. So I want to dig a little bit deeper into some of this. Actually, I'll let that go. Shifts in ad spend. So we can see the difference between linear in 2022 and what's expected in 2026, as well as I touched on SSAI as well as DAI. And this looks at the current state of IPTV and cable TV, exploring some of the key differences across both tech and business. A couple trends. Viewership is growing significantly in IPTV, where in traditional cable, it is slightly declining to stabilizing. There's a ton of untapped opportunities in the IPTV space amid this growth. And on the flip side, cable TV will likely remain resilient. And looking at the tech, IPTV is inherently enabled for addressable advertising due to the IP-based nature and the one-to-one delivery methods. It's more valuable to brands because they're able to apply significant increased targeting, as well as reach significantly more audiences in a tailored way. One area where IPTV has lagged, however, is the reliability and quality that we discussed before, and the viewer ad experience. IPTV has long struggled with cable in that regard. There's been a lot of advancements, but there's still work to be done. And as we sit, we are getting closer to a day when IPTV is on par with cable in terms of reliability and frequency management. Cable. On the cable side, adoption of DAI is unlocking addressable advertising, both in the cable stack as well as in the VOD plants. This allows digital-like targeting on traditional TV. And this allows for advertisers to pay premium rates and still get a return on their ad spend investment. So what you're starting to see is higher rates coming through for these addressable ads, as well as less inventory being used. So you get both efficiencies there. Additionally, the use of more automation in cable TV is adding a ton of efficiency, where you're also seeing the ability for cable and MSOs to also save on the amount of resources that they're putting into these sales processes. Lastly, we alluded to this a bit, but there's some economic and business implications. Since IPTV is inherently addressable, yield optimization is significantly a larger portion of what people need to be focused on. It's also more flexible, so there's a lot more testing and POCs that you can do to test A/B testing to see if there's something that addressable is bringing that your other opportunities aren't. And the biggest takeaway from this is that we're seeing a convergence of both of these endpoints into one system or multiple systems where MSOs, programmers are able to start tailoring it specifically to audiences. Let's see the next one. So it's our belief that TV advertising is at a major inflection point. IPTV is unlocking a lot of new opportunities for audience growth and ad revenue, while cable isn't going anywhere. Its resilient highlights untapped opportunities to drive revenue through new ad tech. But we find that everyone is at a different stage of this journey. Some are considering launching ad-supported IPTV products. Some have already done so. Some have leaned headfirst into DAI and addressable tech. And we spend a lot of time working with our clients to shape their approach, to find out which one of these is the best to start with. But really, our recommendation is to start testing all of them and find out what works best for you. So here's just a couple of the best practices that we recommend. So evaluate your current tech and capabilities. Determine what you have, what you need to lease, what you need to buy, what you need to borrow, what you need to build. Develop a balanced sales strategy. So sales channel conflict is certainly something that we hear from our clients all the time. We definitely have put a lot of effort in this industry to making sure that we can partition off direct sales channels and try to find new opportunities in the programmatic or automated sales channels that bring in new advertisers that haven't traditionally bought cable TV into the fold. Keep quality in the user experience at the forefront. IPTV also allows you to play around with ad loads as well as user fatigue in terms of measuring when they're dropping off of these streams. And lastly, look at unified systems. If you have 12 different systems handling all of your different endpoints, you have your information in 12 different systems, and you're not able to look at that holistically. So you're not able to find the yield optimization or the underused inventory that's available for you to still monetize. So I think I've said it 45 times already, pay TV and OTT are converging. So we operate a unified tech-first approach that allows you to decision on both your traditional cable as well as your IPTV delivery. And if you guys have any questions, we're available at 2515 at the other side. And I appreciate your time, guys. Yeah, any questions?
Question there?
Sure.
Test.
Hi there.
Hi.
I think you quoted a figure of $18 billion annual advertising spend on OTT services. Is that correct?
That does, yeah, that is correct.
Can you estimate, or better, can you tell how much of that is dedicated to addressable advertising versus basically non-addressable?
So it really depends on what your definition of addressable is. If you take OTT being one-to-one, also targetable based on audiences, all IPTV would theoretically be addressable in that form.
Theoretically, but is it actually being used in practice? That's really the crux of my question, is how much people are actually exploiting that targeting addressability out of that $18 billion number.
The vast majority. So what we actually face is difficulty, and one of the main things that we're focused on is bringing that same functionality, the ability to target third-party audiences down to the actual household into the cable environment, to bring that same digital style targeting, that addressable art targeting into the cable stack, because so many of the buyers today on the automated and programmatic channels basically can't figure out how to make their systems work if you don't have that IP address available. So what we're trying to do is trying to pair those together, but to answer your question, the 18 billion, almost all of it is using audience targeting.